We're going to work on that. Holy shit. There's a lot more people than last year. Isn't this amazing? Look around you. This is amazing. We actually sold out and went over a few tickets. And the first venue we had was quite a bit smaller. We had to move venues, and it ended up being this amazing blessing. So we have space now. You can get up and dance and move around. I'm out of breath. I didn't plan that very well. Okay, Molly, thank you for that introduction, by the way. I was back there trying not to cry, which you might have heard me say on my mic because I didn't realize I was mic'd up yet. I said, oh my God, I'm going to cry. But thank you for that. I don't even know where she went. Okay, so I'm going to take some deep breaths. Get into a good energy space. And then I'm going to tell you what you guys are going to expect this weekend. And then I'm going to set you up to where you can get the most out of this weekend, because you may not know it yet. Because how many here came to Spark not really knowing what to expect? Oh shit, that's a lot of you. That's cool because it's an open canvas. So where are my alumni at? Who came to Spark Chico last year? Stand up for a second. If you guys feel lost at all, these are your volunteers to help you. So I want to talk about, is this echoey or is that just me? Did I sound okay? Okay, so I want to talk about really how Spark came to be and where it's going and how you guys are such an integral part of it. I created Spark, it was really weird. I came out of a meditation and I knew that I wanted to make an impact. I didn't know how, and so I was feeling kind of lost, and it was my year of following my intuition, and so I said, I'm just going to meditate on it. And when I came out of my meditation, I knew that I needed to do an event, and I knew for some reason it needed to be in Chico, California, which was weird because I live in Portland, Oregon. So I called my best friend, Molly, who lived in Chico at the time. I said, hey, you want to help me put on an event? And bless Molly's soul, she said absolutely. And over the course of 5 months, we put on our first ever event together, which was Spark Chico, which was one of the most unbelievable, incredible experiences of my entire life. And those who have been there can testify to that. So after Spark Chico was done, I needed to take a little break and focus on my job and my work, and kind of almost forgot that I wanted to do another Spark. And I had lunch with Cosette Coco Leary right here and Amber Jane, and they kind of had a little intervention with me. It really did feel like an intervention. They're on the other side of a table at lunch, and they said, yeah, you have to put on another Spark. We don't think you realize how important this is for women. And that's when the planning started again. And that was in April, and here we are. So, yay! So the reason why I created Spark is because I see so many women that are living way below their potential. They're living lives that are just kind of going through the motions. They feel stuck. They're not really living up to their capabilities. And I can see women because I've been that woman multiple times. In fact, if you would rewind maybe 9 years ago, I'm a completely unrecognizable person. I was in a marriage for, 7 years, together for 9, that I was unhappy in 90% of those years. Great guy, not my guy. Father of my children, he's amazing, but not my guy. And the first time I can remember getting unstuck, I was going on a road trip with my friend Amanda. We were going for a girls' weekend, and I thought she had the best marriage. On social media, they were out doing stuff together. They were like the couple everybody wanted to be, and I never felt like I could share with her how sad I was because she was so happy. How could she relate to how I was feeling? And we were in the car, and she breaks down and has this confession with me that she is really, really sad. And she has been unhappy in her marriage for a really long time, to the point where she actually wishes her husband would cheat on her so she would have a valid reason to leave, because just being unhappy isn't a good enough reason to make a change. And I remember feeling so deeply sad for her, but even more sad for me, because I felt the exact same way. And it was almost like I had a mirror in front of me. And that was the point. I decided there's no way I can live like this anymore. And I went home and I asked for a divorce the very next day. And that was the beginning of a shift for me. The second time that I had a really big shift was when I was going through that divorce. Fast forward maybe 6-7 months, and I felt so lost. If I'm not a wife and if I'm not a mama, like, who am I? What do I even like to do? All I had done at that point was sit at home and watch Netflix. Like, that was my evenings, that was my weekends, and then being a mama, which is a great job, and I love being a mom, but we are so much more than just moms. We really are. And I was in my car, and I was driving, and I heard this commercial for this conference called the Wondrous Women's Conference, and I had never been to anything motivational before. And something inside of me, little did I know what it was, my intuition, was telling me I needed to go to this. And so I left, and I asked my job if I could take a couple of days off, which was a brand new job, similar to your story, actually, and took 2 work days off and went. And I didn't know a single soul, which some of you here probably don't know anybody either. Take note of this. And I was sitting at this table, and I was sitting next to this woman who was talking, and the speakers were talking, and she's still talking, and I'm like, shh, I don't want to be associated with you. You're getting in trouble. Yeah. And that woman was Molly Openshaw. Yeah. So little did I know that me going to that conference not only empowered me and made me feel like I am more than a mom, but it brought me to my best friend, the maid of honor in my wedding, and someone I get to put on these incredible events with. So I'm pointing this out to you, which was today, 7 years ago today, totally unplanned, super weird, but very exciting. Of course, it's meant to be. But it's very important that you guys recognize this, because you might have come here by yourself, or maybe you came with a friend, but this weekend and Monday is all about connection. The people that came to Spark last year created lifelong bonds that are not only just friends, but they're doing stuff in their jobs, they're collaborating, they're making an impact together. Because as much as I want to say I can do this on my own and you guys can do this on your own, you guys, if we're going to make a difference, we've got to do this together. It is about all of us collectively doing this together. We talked about this earlier when we were having our little speaker powwow, that it's the only way we're really going to rise up and make a difference. So I really encourage you to reach out to the person next to you. Open up. Don't be afraid to break down those walls. I'm going to take you guys through an exercise in a minute that's going to force you to break down some walls. Don't be nervous. But follow your intuition. If something inside of you says, I need to ask that question, or I need to go get to know that person, there's a reason. We are incredibly highly intuitive creatures, women. We really are. And so often, we doubt that voice that we have in our head. And we second guess ourselves way too much. So over the course of the next 2 days, I'm just asking you, when you get that little ping, please follow it. Please listen to it, because that is probably the biggest thing that's going to make a difference when you leave Spark tomorrow. Tomorrow. Keep wanting to say weekend. You know what I'm talking about. That's going to make a huge, huge difference for you guys. You might be sitting next to your next Molly Openshaw. Who knows? I'm going to walk you guys through a little exercise